facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kala Dakuru Batabora. It is time for us to talk, you and I talk for development, talk for societal growth, and hopefully whatever contributions we make will help make that growth possible. Once again, welcome. Remember, we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we are active on X as well. And that show run from now up until 7, when we would have to drop the anchor for the day and reconvene same time tomorrow. Remember, it's Monday through Friday on your news talk sports radio station 92.3. Welcome. Remember, you could also follow me on social media, Dkalada, TheKalada. All right, so what do I have written down as big stories? I do have some good big stories, interesting one. 2 of them has got to do with River State. Yeah, and it has to do with the judiciary and the politics in River State. And one has to do with a report that broke yesterday evening, talking about NLC threatening a 1-month strike if minimum wage is decentralized. So yeah, we'll talk about that and many more. So State High Court bars Rivers PDP from holding Congress, stops the extension of tenure for various Excos. I'm talking about states, I'm talking about local government and ward executives of the PDP in the state. So they have stopped the extension. So background to the story. Remember that a while ago, the tenure for the various Excos in the state expired. But just because the PDP had not been able to call for congresses, not just in River State, in several other states, they arrived at an agreement that the Exco whose tenure had expired would be extended for a period of, I think, 3 months, right? And after that, the congresses will be done in the various states. However, there was some issue as a result of the politicking in River State. And what happened was that the Exco or Excos in River State, depending on how you look at the local government ward and the state level, they're like we say in our parlance, mago. So there was a little bit of there was a little change. For instance, the current commissioner for environment, Sinik Bara's name was omitted from that list. And at the time of the tenure expiration, he was the publicity secretary of PDP here in River State. So the omissions, several omissions at the state, at the local government, at the ward levels, brought about some kind of suspicion from the camp of the governor. I remember the governor had even traveled, to Abuja, to confirm if the list as published, was it on the Nation newspaper and Leadership newspaper, was an authentic list. However, it happened to be that the politics in River State, may have affected the list. Up until recently, I think there was up until today, I think there was the revalidation of members of PDP. And then we saw a comment that the revalidation was for new members. So we had all of those stories. Now today, someone went to court. Was it today or was it yesterday? Someone went to court, I think it was yesterday, and asked the court to stop whatever Congress now would be held on the 27th of July. It should be stopped. It should be stopped. And it also said that the PDP should also be barred from extending the interim administration of the various executives or the various ward levels. Is that the right way? The various levels, ward, local government, and state Excos. From extending that interim structure, that caretaker structure. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, well, to what effect is this move by the people who have moved there, because it has the semblance of, APC in is it 2019 or towards the 2019 elections? How one person, who was that again? Was it Uma and others? Went to court, and something similar like this. It may not be exactly the same, but it sounds really similar. And if we would reference the APC situation towards the 2019 election, then you would agree with me that that court case crippled the APC, and the APC happened not to be on the ballot during the 2019 elections. Could that be what the move is about? Is this a fight now for the PDP structure, or is it to cripple the PDP structure? Or I don't know. What is on your mind as it relates to what is happening now at the High Court, the State High Court, as it relates to the PDP? Remember, this is an interim injunction, and according to the report, it is pending the determination of the substantive matter. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that one. What is your take? Because this interim injunction, which was given yesterday by the presiding judge, Sobere Biambo, has restrained the PDP in the state or its agent from taking decisions or giving directives to further extend the already expired tenure of the last state, local government, and ward executive officers of the PDP. Also, it can be interpreted to mean that if these drags on, because you know how the court cases have been in Rivers State as power politics in recent times, if this drags on, it may affect who the PDP will field as a candidate for the local government elections come October the 5th. So yeah, I'd like to get your thoughts. I've dragged on for too long on this very one. Let's look at my next big story. And my next big story still has to do with the judiciary and politics in Rivers State. But this time we will go to the Federal High Court. And the Federal High Court, there are stories as a joint suit on the validity of Martin Amaewhule led assembly. Okay, all right. Now, a Federal High Court in Port Harcourt will, on the 21st of August, yeah, you heard me right, 21st of August, rule on who is the rightful lawyer to represent the PDP in a suit instituted by the Boot Party in Rivers State, challenging the eligibility of Martin Amaewhule and 25 other lawmakers. Recall that on the 28th of June, when the matter was mentioned, two senior advocates of Nigeria, Joshua Musa and Rashak Gold, announced their appearance as legal representation for the PDP. Now, Justice E.O. Obele on that day had asked Boot's counsel to go and sit down and discuss as to who should be the appropriate legal representation for the PDP, and adjourned the case to today. And the matter resumed today, and the arguments continued. As a matter of fact, the PDP argued against itself in court today. Now, I am wondering, is this intentional? Because a lot of times you say, oh, the court, and I've tried to tell you in the past few days that it's not the fault of the court. It's not the fault of the court. I mean, the court has given them, the opportunity to go regularize these issues, and they came back with the same issue. While Joshua Musa is pointing hands or fingers or his finger at Rashad Gold, Rashad Gold is also pointing his finger back at Joshua Musa, saying, I'm the authentic representation or representative of the PDP. Anyways, I'm wondering if this is a delay tactic, right? Because if this continues, then nobody thinks we will continue with the narrative, the Martin Amaewhule led assembly and the Victor Okujumbo led assembly. That's what I think. And it will drag on till the expiration of these first term of these Rivers State governments. But if it's not a tactic on, I'm wondering, is it not clear Like some people have quoted in recent times, I can't remember who did, but some was a lawyer now, I can't remember, quoted the PDP's constitution saying it is the national legal representative that is allowed to represent. Okay, I think it was a statement put out by the PDP as it relates to, the appeal court's seating or suits. Remember, we talked about it sometime. I want to get involved in this one as well. Is it the PDP playing fast you and I, just to ensure that this matter drags on? Could it be the Martin Amaewhule-led assembly also trying to play, the tricky game to ensure it lasts, it lingers? Could it also be that maybe it's a genuine argument as to who should represent? And I mean, think about it. Yes, the national should represent, but don't you think the state should also be part of the representation as it involves the state's chapter of the PDP? I don't know what's on your mind. It's an interesting. Remember yesterday, the governor of River State was in Enugu State, and guess what? They talked about the National Working Committee as to whether Damadon should continue as chairman, acting chairman, or the argument of it going back to the North Central should be the thing that Ayu, who Wiki had said must go, and he went, was from the North Central. So yeah, I'm looking at all of these things happening. They also talked about the Rivers issue. They had come to a consensus, and when governors come to a consensus, they're very strong, and they can cause pressure or put pressure or be pressure on whoever they are going against. And maybe this time it's the National Working Committee, and they're trying to try to save their head. Maybe they're making moves, last-minute moves to join the government. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to narrate it as I see it. But what are your thoughts as it relates to all the happenings, as it relates to the PDP? And are you disappointed that the Federal High Court has joined the pick again? I mean, you could have been hearing, and next thing we could have been waiting for would have been to join. And now we have to wait another 1 month. Yeah, another 1 month. Anyways, let's look at my third big story. I'm talking about the NLC saying they will go on a 30-day strike if the National Assembly decentralizes minimum wage. So now the federal government is the one negotiating for the wage, but if it's decentralized, it would mean local governments will have meeting with the union at local level and say this is what we can afford. The state governors and government at the executive arm will also say the same thing, and so this is what we can afford, this is what we can pay, and I guess different states would offer different pay. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, I'd like to get your thoughts on all of these issues. Stay with us. PDP governors are still in a closed-door meeting, or is it a belated report? Because I'm looking at my screen and I'm seeing PDP governors in closed-door meeting in Enugu. So yes, the battle for the soul of the PDP may have started. I don't know, because it looked like that pause, everybody was taking a breather, or they were taking a rest. But it looks like, let's get the battle started. And Bala Mohammed is the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, and from what I can see on the screens, he is chairing, and he's currently talking, right? Maybe we'll get all the details in subsequent news bulletins. But for now, that's the much I can tell you. Okay, all right. I was just talking about NLC before the break. Do you think it's a clear idea? I don't know. Each state, it's going to be like private entities. Maybe it would bring about productivity, right? So if the civil service is churning out enough productivity, then maybe the civil service in that state or at the government level can then ask for a pay rise. Does it make sense to you? I think it is okay for us to have a unified minimum wage, and then, for instance, in certain states, the civil service could be redundant. Yeah, you have it right. Could be redundant, and yet they're earning the same pay as people in other states who are working themselves out, who are working all of the energy that they have, just to ensure that I wonder if there's a service like that. I don't know. I'm not being all the states, but yeah, because the picture we usually are people, especially in certain ministries that are redundant and don't have work to do. For instance, I'm thinking the Ministry of Works. What do they really do there? I'm just asking a generic question. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just thinking out loud. What do they really do there? Because a lot of the times the Ministry of Works is giving out contracts, to companies to do the work that they're supposed to do, right? So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what their civil servants there. Also, I could give another example. Currently, the refineries are not working. We've been told for the 18th time